In this video, guys, we're going to look at avoiding the urge to bet big after a series of small wins. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a warm welcome to you. Thanks for tuning in. Right, okay, so let me tell you a story about a guy who was a friend of mine and he wanted to get into trading. And this will lead in nicely to the topic of the video. The topic of the video being, hey, you've got to try and avoid the urge to increase your position size after a series of small wins. Because look, it's human nature, right? You've won, and you've been trading small. The logical thing is, well, I've been trading small. Why don't I just trade bigger? And I've made a decent amount of money. I've only made £100 here. If I trade bigger, I could have made £1,000. That's what goes through the mind. And so resisting that urge is key. So let me tell you this story. This was probably 10 years ago now, actually, maybe a little bit less, about 10 years ago. A friend of mine says, okay, what was this trading all about, blah, blah, blah. Kind of showed him what it was all about. I said to him, okay, if you want to have a go at it, then there's a couple of books I can lend you and you can read those. And also your best bet is to kind of, if you're interested, come back, we'll kind of work out a strategy for you, one strategy, and just trade that one strategy on that one instrument and then see how you get on. So sure enough, goes away, comes back, great. Let's have a strategy. So we put together a strategy that was one that was working for me at the time. Very simple to follow, very easy. This is your stop, this is your profit target, and just execute that for a decent period of time and let's see how you're getting on. So lo and behold, see him again kind of a couple of days later. How's it getting on? Yeah, really well. I kind of made 10 ticks on that. This was a kind of day trading scalping strategy, but before, when the market was kind of going crazy, the idea was it was going to take 10 ticks out of the market. And it was just really an exercise in kind of discipline and execution. So he's there and he's saying, listen, yeah, I was trading very small. I've made 10 ticks. And see him again. He's like, yeah, I've made 3 great trades. There's another 30 kind of ticks. Oh, great, you're doing well. Oh, I lost some money on that. I'm down like 8 ticks or whatever the stop position was. Okay, fine. And then he had a run. He had like a run of 10 trades in a row where he made 10 points, 10 points, 10 more, 10 ticks, 10 to 10. And he's like, listen, this is going really great. Great. I said, great, just keep at it, but keep noting down what's going on. Keep noting down what you're doing. This is a good start. And I know your mind, you know yourself, like if you're a seasoned trader, you know that there's going to be a series of loss. The whole point of having a structured stop loss in there is to stop that series of loss damaging you too much. So I thought this is going to be a great sort of exercise and discipline for him anyway, to see what happens when he draws down a little bit, because it's not going to carry on forever. That he may think it will, and I try to measure his expectations and say, well, listen, this is a good strategy because I've been spending a lot of time tweaking it, adjusting it myself, but it's not going to last forever. You're going to have some drawdown on it, and it's how you manage it that's key. So fast forward, we kind of met up a few times or whatever. I had not mentioned it, I hadn't really brought it up. Then I kind of thought, he's not really said anything about it. I said, oh, you still trade in the market? So yeah, I am, I see. And he sort of sheepishly looked at me. I'm thinking, okay, what's going on here? And he said, yeah, you know what, I did so well, didn't I, after I spoke to you? I made like 3 or 4 more great trades, but then I increased my position size to 10 times. And I said, you did what? He said, yeah, increased my position size to 10 times. And you can guess what happened. A couple of losing trades or 2 or 3 losing trades, he wipes out all of his gains and more. And he says, you know what, I've had enough of the market. I don't want to trade anymore. So that was that. Again, I suppose he lost much. He just learned a big lesson. But the point is, right, human nature, and this is a great example because he's brand new, not a trader, not the mindset of a trader, no idea on anything to do with psychology and discipline, just executing a strategy. The point is, the human nature dials us into wanting to maximize what we perceive as skill. So, hey, if we've made this amount of money, why not just increase the position size and it's going to increase and carry on? But unfortunately, we need to fight that urge because of exactly that reason. Because if we increase our position size and then it goes against us, what is going to happen? Of course, we're going to be damaged psychologically by doing it. We're going to lose all our gains. It's a no-win situation. There's no good that can come from it. Yeah, you might make a couple of winners and you might think great, but then you're going to keep increasing the position size and keep increasing it. And the only time that you can actually benefit and it works well for you is if you increased it so much, you made so much money out of it with a series of lucky trades or good trades, you ended the game, pulled it, said never going to trade anymore and walked away. Someone may well have done that, but I doubt it. More often than not, increasing the position size, increasing it comes with the inevitable drawdown. But then it's not just that drawdown, it's that psychological impact in your mind that you go, you know what, that hurts, that stings, and most people can't deal with that. Most people are challenged by that in terms of, you know, the way that they then act in trading afterwards. They end up doing irrational things, like they'll trade too much, then increase the position sizes even more, and go down that slippery slope that we've talked about so often. So how do you kind of avoid the urge? You've got to look at things objectively, guys, and it's the same with, you know, most things. Easier said than done. I get it. It's easier to say, yeah, just don't do it, but look at it objectively and say, okay, well, I've made this amount of money, I've done well on this. However, you know, I'm still vulnerable. I've got a stop loss there for a reason. What would happen if I increased my position size and I now had 10 losers in a row? Where would that put me? Well, it would put me seriously negative. But if I kept my position size as it was and I had 10 losers in a row, where would I be? Well, I'd still be up because my risk reward ratio is positive. So I can stomach that. So it makes sense. Whereas when you're not thinking logically, you're thinking, well, I just want to make more money, you're not thinking of the risk. It's always going back to that main thought, guys, of what's the risk on the trade? What's the risk on the trade? What's the risk on the week? What's the risk on the month? What's the risk am I taking? Not just thinking about it short term, but long term. If I had a bad run, where would that put me? Can I stomach that? Can I accept that? If the answer is no, you need to keep the position size lower. It's human nature. It's tempting to dial up the position size. Been there, done it, got the t-shirt, been smacked by it, made money on it, done both. But we need to understand that, you know, if you do it in the wrong time, and you go from kind of small size to big size, you're super vulnerable, and it very rarely works. Increasing position size is about doing it methodically and carefully so you can stomach drawdown still, because they almost always come, it's almost uncanny, right? You increase your position size and bang, out comes a smack from the market. And then people think that it's kind of, it is uncanny, and I'm kind of saying that with tongue in cheek, but in reality it's the way we process the trade, it's the way we deal with the trade, it's the way that we are trading things differently compared to how we're trading with small size. So we start trading very aggressively with big size, we start snatching profits a bit earlier. Oh, that's 6 grand on the table there. Before it was 600 quid. It was much more meaningless than it is now. I'm going to take profits a bit earlier. Oh, it's a bit painful, that loss, and you tend to trade it differently, which is why you do the damage. Anyway, guys, so avoiding the increasing your position size after a series of small wins is crucial. Try to do that. If you've had a series of small wins, be very careful about increasing that position size. Do it methodically, and then you can think kind of 2 or 3 quarters ahead, and you'll be much better off that far down the line than you will if you could increase the position size really aggressively super early on. All right, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this one. Have you increased position size? Have you been smacked by this? Does this make sense to you? All that kind of good stuff. Appreciate your support if you're a subscriber, by the way, and take care. Get your risk managed. Bye bye.